Hey boys and girls, I'm still reviewing page number 3 with you, and we're actually going to look at question number 3. Now be very careful on question number 3 because they give us a couple extra numbers in here that we don't necessarily need to solve the actual math problem, okay? So just keep a heads up about that. Bob has a 10-gallon fish tank that contains 18 fish. So let's stop right there for a second. I see two numbers in this first sentence, so let's talk about them. He has a 10-gallon fish tank. All that means is that's how much water can fill up his tank. So 10-gallon fish tank means that's how much water the volume of his tank can hold, and that it contains, or it has, 18 fish. But Mary has a 20-gallon tank. So that means that her tank can hold more gallons of water, which means it's a bigger tank, which it makes sense that it tells us that she has 3 times as many fish as Bob does. Well, that makes a lot of common sense to me. Remember, sometimes just taking a second to think about common sense can definitely help us out with a lot of these word problems. If Mary's tank can hold more gallons of water, it makes sense that she would be able to put more fish in her tank. So which equation best shows the number of fish in Mary's tank? So our question is focusing on the number of fish, not how many gallons they have in their tank. So we're not going to necessarily use the numbers 10 and 20. We're just going to be focusing on how many fish. Okay? So definitely pull out your labels to help get you organized, okay? So we have the two people that we're talking about, Bob and Mary. All right. What do we know about Bob? We know that Bob has 18 fish, and they tell us that Mary has a 20-gallon tank with 3 times as many as fish. Remember, her tank is bigger, so she is going to have more fish. She has 3 times more than Bob. So she has more fish, so we need to get a bigger number for Mary. So it makes more sense that we're going to multiply to get a larger number for Mary, and that would be an equation of 3 times 18. So it's been a little while since we reviewed our multiplication strategy. Even though the question doesn't ask you to do this, I would love, love, love for you to go ahead and practice our multiplication strategy using our area model magic box, some of you guys call it. So I'm multiplying 3 times 18. Okay, we're going to take 18 and decompose it into 10 plus 8. And we're multiplying times 3. So in my first box, I want to multiply 3 times 10, which we know is 30. Go to your second box and multiply 3 times 8, which we know is 24. And what do we call these two numbers right here? Those are our partial products. Add them together to get your final answer. So that tells us that 3 times 18 is 54, and our question is focused on which equation best shows the number of fish that are in Mary's tank. So Mary has 54 fish, which makes sense because I know 54 is greater than 18. And that makes sense again because Mary has a bigger tank. So our answer to question number 3 would be B, that 3 times 18 equals 54.